Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, April 25th. We are live for the Daily Drop-In, where the Teach Better team heads over to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Twitch, and we go live at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have a ton in store for you this morning, including a major announcement, a final major announcement for the Teach Better conference. We also have some good news for you. We have a long week that we get to share lots of details of, so go fill up your coffee and we'll be right back. Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, April 25th. Jeff Gargis is in the house, and I just want on record, before we get started, Jeff didn't talk to me all weekend because he's spending all week with me. So I just want on record, I have no idea, Jeff, what your weekend was like.
That's what we didn't talk at all this weekend, did we?
Literally none. And I think it's because you know that you're going to see me for like 4 or 5 days this week.
Well, I was also camping with my family, so like that was part. I did post once in base camp on Saturday morning to wish Katie a happy birthday. Yeah, I just wanted to beat Amanda to it. Like that was it.
Shout out to Katie.
Well, you know what the sad part is? I actually did talk to other people in base camp throughout the weekend, which I shouldn't have. But more yesterday. It was more yesterday.
I think it's my fault because you messaged me a really sweet, considerate, thoughtful message on Friday. And I essentially told you to like piss off and go hang out with your family and stop talking to me because you were trying to be helpful. We had an internal team get together Friday night. And you were like, oh, Ray, just here's a reminder. I hope it goes well. And I was like, Jeff, get off of base camp.
I sent you that on Friday?
Yeah, it was like hey, here's just an FYI. Like it was like a reminder. And I was like, don't remind me.
That wasn't to just to be clear, like, that wasn't to you. I gave that to the team.
No, you sent it to me.
I'm looking at our pings right now, lady.
Okay, lady, I'm pretty sure.
And the only thing I pinged to you on Friday was need like 4.25 minutes before we were supposed to meet.
Oh, well.
I think you think when I post. So like, you know, when like a celebrity posts something on like tweets and the young girls are like, oh my God, he's talking about me. That was you right there with me.
My God.
When
You're just like so famous.
When I shared that update to the team, you're like, sorry, I can't.
Not true. This is a fake story because you messaged me about the link. You were like, hey, the Zoom link is under my link.
Oh, I probably, you know what? Maybe I texted it to you. Check text.
Yeah, it was something because I responded to you.
I don't think it was a super sweet message, though. I think you're giving me way too much credit for that.
Personally. Okay, I was, but let's tell our community about how I gave you too much credit on a Monday morning. Jeez. You essentially texted me on Friday, and you were like, "Hey,
I wanted to make sure you were ready to get yes."
Yes, and I was like, "Don't talk to me. Go build a fire with your family." So how was camping?
Camping was good. We had great weather for camping. Like it was awesome. Saturday was hot. We all got burnt. I have some weird burns. Like I don't know if you can't really tell from with the camera, but I have some weird burns from where like I was helping kids with something shortly after getting suntan lotion, so I think it rubbed off. But it was good. Friday was, you know, gorgeous night for camping and for fire, and then Saturday was good. It was hot and there wasn't a lot of shade because none of the trees have leaves apparently. But they had an awesome scavenger hunt and fishing. Oh, my son Jonathan. So my son is 10, my daughter is 7, and it's mainly boys, and then there's 2 girls that are in the scouts, and so. And then a lot of the boys are older, like a year or 2 older, like 3 years older than Jacqueline. So they went on the scavenger hunt. Apparently, about midway through, Jacqueline was getting upset. I had to stay back and man the fire. Jacqueline was getting a little upset because the boys were finding all the clues before she ever could. God. So the very last thing was what it's called a cryptex, where like you have to like line up the letter. You have to get the clue, line up the letters, and that opens up the thing, the box.
Yeah, sure.
And that was the last thing. And Jonathan found it and wouldn't let any of the other boys come to it until Jacqueline could get there, and she found it. And then there was a key that they had to bring back to unlock the treasure chest, and he made sure that she got it. And she came back so proud. And then they unlocked this little treasure chest, and it overflowed with the chocolate like gold coins.
Mm.
And these kids just all stashed all these gold coins. We were worried that they were going to eat them all, but then we noticed in their bunks that night they all had little stashes of gold coins in their
Oh my
beds. It was
God.
hilarious. But yeah, so it was good, and we fished. Jonathan caught a fish. Jack didn't, but she got really good at casting. Jonathan caught a nice little sunfish, and it was good. It was a fun weekend, and it was a good time. And then yesterday was just a whole lot of lazing around as a family, being kind of quiet. Actually, Elijah, the cryptext, the word was pirate. That's what they were doing. So all the clues were like they were saying that I could be an Eagle Scout, so I was looking for a new career, and it was all these things that he was practicing, and that's what they got to. So anyway, how was your weekend though? Like, we didn't talk. It is weird when we don't talk at all, like at least a text or something.
No.
So it is a little weird. Were you camping this weekend?
I was not, but I'm really glad that you got so much family time. Like, you very rarely fully disconnect from Teach Better responsibilities and go off and have a great time with your family. So I'm thrilled that camping went so well. And I didn't do anything camping related except I did sleep a little bit this weekend. I assume you guys.
I camp.
Yeah, it's almost like camping. I mean, I got 2 dogs that live at my house, so it's kind of like being outside in the wilderness in some ways.
Did you stay up way later than you wanted to because young kids wouldn't go be quiet and go to sleep?
You know, I didn't. That's the missing piece here. That's the missing piece.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
No, my weekend was a low-key Saturday, enjoying the beautiful weather. Illinois had great weather on Saturday. And then it was like a rainy. I actually went to the coffee shop yesterday and got some work done. So kind of related to the big announcement we have here in just a few minutes. So I was doing a little work with that.
Well, you're doing some work. So you had gloomy weather yesterday, huh? We had a beautiful day yesterday too.
But I think you get weather.
We get like a day. We get 24 to 48 hours after you is typically. So I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow actually. So that's probably that.
We had rain like all day yesterday.
Someone in California, what's it look like out there?
It's true, because we need to talk about, we have big plans. We're going to be together all week. After this announcement, we get to come together with Katie Miglin. We're going to go to Palm Springs. I'm excited to get into that. Really fun.
Yeah. Let's do good news stuff too first and holidays, right?
Before we do that, we got like a major announcement for the team that's here. We have some good news, we have some holidays, and we also need to document in our Happy Feed app. So, Jeff, before we get too far into this morning's show, can you give me something this morning you're grateful for, and I will throw it in our Teach Better Team Happy Feed app?
I'm grateful for my family.
Tell me more.
There's 3 of them.
Good. Yep. Keep going.
Technically, there's 5 because of the cat and dog. No, I was just grateful for being able to spend time with them this weekend and having a just being in a spot in our life where we were able to do that type of stuff and spending time with them, and then take a Sunday to kind of relax. And I do think I'm actually really grateful for my neighbor across the street, John, who has his own lawn care business, and he's mowing my lawn this week, so I didn't have to mow my lawn yesterday. So that was like an extra hour and a half that I didn't have to not be with my family. So change that. I'm grateful for John.
I will add that. I will say, Jeff, I'm grateful for your family too, but I'm very grateful when it's kind of like a proud, we have like this brother, sister, it's a proud moment for me when you choose to like put everything aside and really take intentional time with family. I know that's so hard for you. I know you're constantly getting inundated with team members that need something from you, or a community that's asking something from you. And you love that. I'm not even going to pretend that you don't eat that up. But I'm always very, very grateful when you were able to put things away and go take time. So I'm proud of you for that.
Me too. Thank you. I'm proud of me too. Oh, speaking of being proud, can we give a quick shout out to Chad Ostrowski, who ran his 3rd marathon yesterday?
Yes. Oh my God. There were so many big team things. I think Dave did some sort of race.
Dave had a race too, but I didn't even know Dave was running. I don't know if he ran, what it was.
And it was Katie's birthday. Katie in the comments. Good morning, Katie.
Katie was set. Yep. So Chad ran a marathon yesterday. Yep. And this was the marathon that Chad and I ran together. We ran it during COVID, so we ran it virtually together, but he ran it again this year. And then, Dave ran something, but I don't know whether he went, I don't know if that was a 10, a half, or full. Dave probably ran a marathon without telling anyone. That makes sense.
I only know
shout out to Dave too.
Yeah, shout out to Dave Schmidt. I only knew that Dave ran because every post he had was him in a t-shirt with some sort of thing around his neck, like a medal, and he was holding like a beer or like holding.
Well, that's Dave only runs races that have beer and pizza and stuff like that at the finish line. So
no judgment.
His looked pretty cool. Like whatever the finish line was. Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna run that far, which by the way I would never unless I'm being chased for my life, but let's just pretend I want a good slice of pizza and some good beer at the end. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I don't know if Dave's watching yet, but if Dave's awake, he should let us know in the comments what run he did.
Or better yet, all of you should go inundate Chad and Dave to learn more
there you go.
Send the messages. I love the comments this morning. We got Elijah and Katie and Brad, and we have all the Joe's here, all of our friends, because they're all eager for this big announcement we have.
I do want to note though, before we go into stuff, that Joe, you might want to check. I don't know if you use Buffer or Hootsuite or whatever you use to schedule, but it looks like one of your comments that was meant for Friday came out today. So it says, "Good morning, dynamic duo." I gotta imagine he's talking about you and Brad.
Oh,
who also just showed up in the comments as well. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, Joe, I want you to know that I know that was a bad joke from Jeff. Just to confirm, like I want you
that to know that joke was 1000% only for a single an audience of one person, Brad Hughes. That's it.
I love
Brad appreciates that joke and he appreciates the love.
I won't be able to be live with Brad this Friday, and I'm already anxious about it.
That's right. Boy, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's quit screwing around. Let's get into this stuff.
We have a lot to get into. Let's do good news first. 1 second. Good morning, friends. We are live for the Daily Drop-In Morning Show with the Teach Better team, currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Shout out especially to those who might have chosen to listen after the fact for Teach Better Talk podcast. We appreciate all of you being here. We have some big news that we are announcing here in just a few minutes that I am shocked has stayed a secret. But either way, we got to get into some good news first. Jeff, are you ready to celebrate some fun and weird holidays?
Yeah, we have some holidays today.
Yeah, we got some good holidays.
All right, let's get into it.
First one, and I'm always nervous when these are holidays because I'm not unwilling to celebrate the holiday. I just feel like with COVID, we all have like a bubble around us, a wider bubble than maybe we once had. It is officially the day to hug a plumber. And I'm not saying to not hug a plumber. I'm just saying maybe ask first. Not everybody needs a hug. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe double check. Ask for a vaccine card if you want to.
No.
Just at least double check, make sure that he or she is comfortable with you hugging them before.
That's all I mean. I just feel like, hugging a plumber, go for it. They have incredible jobs. What would we do without our plumbers? Amazing. What? I
don't mean to interrupt, but Dave Schmidt's in the comments now. Dave, we were just talking about you and Chad running this weekend, but we didn't know what your race was. Can you comment? Let us know what the race was and how far it was. We just want to make sure that we're giving you proper props outside of the beer and pizza.
But we barely have time to talk about it because there's
we're moving on. He's going to comment in the comments, and we're going to leave it at that. Everyone's going to congratulate him. It's awesome. Hug your plumber. Okay, next.
Dave Schmidt, we did care about you like 3 minutes ago, but now we're moving on because we have big news to share. So we had
to stop. We had to stop, Karen.
Come on, Dave. It's also National Telephone Day, World Malaria Awareness Day, National DNA Day, National Hairstylist Appreciation Day. Shout out to all those hairstylists out there. Jeff, you need one. And last but not least, maybe the most important holiday of all, unless you are seeing your hairstylist or plumber today, it is National Zucchini Bread Day. So there's some good stuff there. Do you like zucchini bread? Are you a zucchini bread person?
I don't mind it. I don't know that if there was like several breads on the table, if that would be the first one to go to, depending on what else is there, but I don't mind it.
You know what? You should really open your mind to be a little bit more excited for zucchini bread. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'll work on that.
Before our big news announcement, I do want to give a little article that I thought was just so sweet. You know me, I'm a sucker for anything having to do with kids or animals. There was a lot of good news out there. There was also some really interesting historical elements to today. So I literally had a variety of things I could have shared. But I think I love this one the most because, again, I love a good kid story. The headline says, 9-year-old lemonade stand raises over $2,000, all donated to shelter cats because he wants to buy them toys. So there's a 9-year-old boy that walked into a local animal shelter with a big plastic bag filled with cash, handing over because he raised it all at his local lemonade stand. Ben Miller in Idaho collected a whopping almost $2,000 in one weekend. And what he wanted to do is that he wanted to make sure that all the cats in the animal shelter had a toy to play with. And so he went through and he raised all this money. This is actually the third lemonade stand that he's ever done, not to brag or anything, very successful. He did give credit to his mother, that his mother helped him create the event, not only set up the table, but also, I guess they posted a special Facebook event to promote and market the lemonade stand, which I think is a big commitment. And then they said they were just blown away by the support of the community.
That's awesome. That community came together for that. That's awesome.
I just love anytime a neighborhood can come together, but also anytime a kid has a dream that they're able to actually like go chase and execute. It's been so easy for the parents to say, we don't have time for that. We got plans this weekend.
You're not going to raise enough. Yeah.
And I just think it's so sweet, not only to set up the lemonade stand, market the lemonade stand, but also show up apparently with a plastic bag of cash to be able to celebrate the shelter.
That's cool. Good job. Good for him.
Good stuff. Hey, and CJ, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks for being in the comments. We appreciate you. We have a lot going on today, Jeff, one of which is a major announcement. Should we get into it? Is it too early to get into it? What do you think?
So we can either go into the announcement or we can talk about the week coming up. And
that's after.
I know. We could mess everything up if we wanted to make them wait longer. Is what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, guys! Let's do some green hearts in the comments. This will be really easy. If you want to see the actual big news right this moment, just throw some green hearts. I love seeing Steve Wick in the comments only because I live just like a pond away from where he goes to work every day.
Oh yeah.
So every time I see him in the comments, I'm always like, "Hey, work looks good. The parking lot's available. You'll find a spot super easy."
Oh, like you're lit. Like you can see where he.
Like literally, I can see the parking lot.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
Window.
Okay.
Jeff, we have a lot of green hearts. I think we need to get into.
All right, let's do the announcement thingy.
Are you feeling like? Are you okay with this? Like, don't be sassy about it.
I'm just the person who announced it. I don't like this person.
Oh,
they're not nice. They're not inspiring. They're just not cool.
We have some big news.
So right now, I want to know if you're ready to teach better.
That's the whole mission of this weekend.
Just being here ready to learn and grow and come together like this is awesome.
What are those small changes that can make you better tomorrow than you were today?
All the amazing speakers we have here, wow.
So we have a ton of people here who are published authors, who are writing about education.
Let's get out there and teach better.
Friends, we have some big news, but Jeff, can you believe that we are closing out our speaker lineup literally this morning? Are you ready for this?
Our initial speaker lineup. We still have a whole bunch of other speakers later.
Well, I know proposals are open for the week.
Yeah, they close this Saturday.
They do. They close literally in a week.
Yes, I think you said it before we came live. I don't think you said it live. Maybe you said it when we were live. I can't remember.
I think
so.
That
you're like, I didn't think this day was ever going to come. Like the fact that we're to the point where we don't have to like be quiet about speakers anymore. Because after this point, like we've shared all the ones that are already committed, and
right. So in October, we were like beginning to create the lineup, and it was a whole secret. Then not only did we do all that work, right? Like secret emails, secret DMs, secret messages. We got our entire 12-member lineup. And then we couldn't talk about it at all until the end of January. And then the end of January, we slowly released one or two at a time, slowly but surely. I literally did not believe we'd get to the end of April to announce the last member, which is actually our Saturday morning event keynote.
Oh, yeah, it's Saturday morning. I'm sorry. Once you were saying secret agent man was playing in my head.
Oh, are you gonna sing it for us?
I was thinking like secret agent man. That one, you know what I'm talking about?
Wow. Okay. No, but honestly, friends, this is so exciting because this speaker lineup has been a collection of so many people coming together, brainstorming, trying to curate the right initial 12 to launch essentially the face of the conference. We're so excited when proposals close at the end of this week to hopefully welcome in a lot more speakers to this lineup, but essentially announcing 10 featured speakers and 2 keynotes has been a lot of work internally for our team. And I'm so excited to have this image be complete. It was your vision to have this like silhouette reveal, and now we're going to have the full reveal.
That was my vision?
You mentioned it in a meeting. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
our
that was
marketing
fun.
team ran with it. It was crazy.
Oh, that's cool. I seriously don't remember that, but I appreciate the credit, I guess.
You guys, never mind. It was my great idea. Just so you know, I had this great idea to have silhouettes that slowly revealed themselves. It was awesome.
I think I remember that now.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Panera, wasn't it?
We had so many meetings about speakers. I have no idea. There's been so many meetings.
Are we going to share? Are we going to do this? Can we do this? Can you push the button?
Are
you pushing the button? We have video. Is that what's going on? All right, let's push. Go ahead and push the button.
Friends, we're so excited to finish out our speaker lineup. You can head to teachbetterconference.com to see all the details. We'll be right back. Here's the big news. It's official. Mickey Smith Jr. will be our Saturday morning keynote. Woo!
Wow. That was really fun to watch all that, because I'm like, I didn't know any of all the extra videos going. Okay, so that's it. We're done. We're good.
I can't believe it. I'm literally in shock that we finally announced, because Genein Letford, we announced about 3 or 4 weeks in, and she is our Friday closing keynote. So it's just going to be insane to close that Friday off of a full day, headed into the networking event, headed into Saturday morning together. But I cannot even express to you the energy that is going to fill that Saturday morning room. Holy moly, with Mickey Smith Jr. So excited.
Yes. Oh, that's so cool. I'm going to bring this up.
Yes.
It's done. It's complete.
It's complete.
It's
Friends,
finished.
for those of you who may not know Mickey Smith very well, he's actually joined our Teach Better community a few different times. He's been a part of 12 Hour Live. He's been a part of the Daily Drop-In. He will be live with us next week on May 4th with Katie Miglin to be able to dive into his background. But if you've not connected to him, you're missing out. He is an incredible speaker. We'd love to have you connect with prior to the conference. But he is outstanding. He's won an incredible Grammy Award as an educator recipient. And if you are on our email list, you will get his full bio and learn all about Mickey in your inbox here in about 5 minutes. So you'll have a lot of details for that. But this is a full event, Jeff.
So now that we have the full thing here, which one was the one that no one got?
Okay, so there was a few that nobody guessed, because for those of you that remember, we actually revealed a silhouette image for you where nobody's faces were showing and people had to guess. And they actually had essentially, like, throughout the number of weeks we've been doing this, trying to guess the whole image. A lot of people knew Mickey Smith Jr. because that is a very specific headshot. Mickey Smith is in that top section with the red blazer. But I will say Dr. Sharon Porter was somebody that nobody predicted. Allison
Down
Epsey.
here.
Yeah, Allison Epsey was a tricky one. And then, Genein Letford was such an exciting moment to be able to announce her. And then Michael Jennings, which is in the top corner. He's an incredible educator. So there was a few surprises, but then some ones that people definitely predicted. They found Dr. Dave Schmittou pretty quickly. They found Neil Gupta pretty quickly. Those are staples of our Teach Better community. Also, Kevin Butler. Who could forget about Kevin Butler?
Who on here was at 2019?
Okay,
so you, me, and Chad.
Yes, and then Allison
Kevin
Epsey.
and Allison.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, right?
And Mandy, right? Mandy Freilich?
I don't think Mandy couldn't make 2019. No, she had
But we talked about her being there. Like
she wanted to come, but she had a family thing that she couldn't be there for that one. So that's why she's pumped up for this year. So.
Oh, and Kevin Butler. Kevin Butler was there as a staple.
You, me, Chad, and Kevin. Yeah. Or no, yeah, and Allison. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will say
so a bunch of new faces for the conference, at least.
Yeah, it's kind of a small world. I don't know if this is interesting to anybody else, but for me, especially during COVID, so many of us were connecting virtually that we fostered so many friendship and close relationships in this virtual space, which the Teach Better community was used to being virtual. We were virtual prior to COVID, but there's definitely been this like surge of educators joining this green heart-loving family. And I will say it's kind of an interesting story, Jeff, when I reflect back on, I originally connected with Mickey Smith Jr. in February of 2021. It must have been February 2021. I was at a virtual event. I was asked to speak at. And when I was asked to speak at this event, it was a connection through a few different people that got me connected to this incredible group. Mickey Smith Jr. then joined our Teach Better community. He joined our speakers network. He's been very active. And then this week, you and I are in San Diego. No, we're not in San Diego. We're in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Yeah, sorry about that. But the person who introduced me, Alex K, to Mickey Smith Jr. is actually speaking with me at this week's event.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like small world, and everybody can kind of introduce you to new people constantly. You never know a year later that Mickey Smith will be headlining our conference, and it's crazy. Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Goal. I'm putting it out there. I'm sort of, gonna try to manifest it into reality.
Yeah.
Is to get Mickey Smith to play the sax some point throughout the weekend. Like,
okay.
I want that to happen.
So I met him playing saxophone. Like at the event I spoke at, he emceed it, and all he did was play saxophone.
We're gonna find somewhere, like there's gonna be a spot at like we've already noted this, or I have. I don't know if you were there, but I noted to our team that's putting together the networking events.
Yeah.
Brianne's just coming like that we need a space. I think actually Bree brought it up too. I think Bree brought it up first, was that we need to find a space where we could have Mickey play some sax for us.
Are you thinking he won't play during his keynote? I'm dying. I hope he plays during.
I don't know. Does he? I guess I don't. He might.
I hope so. He's such an eloquent speaker. I could listen to that man speak for hours. Maybe the keynote should be extra long just so he can do a jazz saxophone rendition afterwards. I don't know.
We're actually changing Saturday's conference to just a 8-hour saxophone.
Is that bad? I'm a huge saxophone fan, so sign me up.
Mm-hmm.
So can we go through this? I want to, if you don't mind, Jeff, there are so many reasons we launched with this initial lineup. Now that it's complete, can we kind of highlight these educators to talk about their expertise?
Yeah.
Because for those of you, again, if you haven't met Mickey, our email that will be going out to your inbox has a bunch of different clips to go listen to Mickey speak if you've never heard him share before, kind of everything in between. But every single educator up here has a specific background in a topic that we knew would resonate with our community. There's a lot here. You want to dive in?
Sure.
Where do you want to begin? How about you pick the speaker and we'll go through their background?
Sharon Porter.
Ooh, Sharon Porter, an incredible educator. She actually, did you know, has her own show that she conducts.
She does.
On Facebook. Yep. And she is an incredible doctor in the field of education, does a ton of work with educators constantly. If you guys have not learned from her, she not only focuses on SEL practices, but truly a ton of equity work. I'm so excited to have her share her expertise. She's actually an educator that I really believe I have not learned enough from, because she has so much content that she puts out there. I need to be a better consumer.
She's an exciting one. She's newer to our community, so this is gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
Allison Apsey.
Miss Serendipity. Come on. Gosh, with her 4+ books. Did she know she has a book coming out right before the conference? She promised she'll bring it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she promised
That's
she'll bring it
cool.
to a bookstore.
Oh,
But
nice.
Allison, if you guys missed her live with our team, I went live with her when we announced her, and she had this incredible 20-minute live we did where she highlighted all the work that she is committed to doing all around this concept of kind of the events being very serendipitous in life. I love her mindset on how we can all continue to be better. I love Allison.
Alexis Shepard.
Oh, Alexis Shepard. Ooh, is it bad to say she's probably one of my favorites? Is that
You're not supposed to say that? No.
I'm not supposed to say that, but I have stalked her like nobody's business on Instagram. I love it. She actually just transitioned from being a classroom teacher. She now works in the admissions office of a college, of a university.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yes. And you know what? That is bittersweet when you hear that an educator has changed roles.
Mhm.
But her approach is because she really loved kind of this opportunity to have the power to accept and recruit all types of students to this university. And so her mindset is all about the opportunity that she's able to now offer students to begin their journey in higher ed, which is so neat. If you guys want to, her live with the team would have been the first week of February. If you want to go back in the archives, she had a great session with all of us.
Trey Gamage.
One of our Speakers Network members, a few of these actually faces of our Speakers Network here on this image. Trey is an educator. When do you think we originally connected with Trey? Do you think it would have been 2020?
I think it was 2020.
Or prior to
I
that?
don't remember how or when we did.
But
I know. I know he came on and was a
Mastery Chat host?
Yeah, he hosted. I don't know if it was Master Chat or if it was after we switched to Teach Better, but he did, and he and I went live to do the recap afterwards. And yeah, I bet that was 2019.
I bet it was, because I remember that live. You called me after, and you were
did.
Ray, you have to connect with this guy.
Well, he and I talked for like 40 minutes after we got off live. Like, he's just a good dude, and and then he's been involved in quite a few things since, and Speakers Network, Podcast Network.
Yep.
Yes.
He does have a great podcast. If you guys are not listening to Trey Gamage's podcast, you can actually access it over in the Teach Better Podcast Network. But that's a great podcast. He's been doing it for a long time. I will say, Jeff, he's somebody that has like the best heart. He is the nicest, most generous man. Truly incredible.
Yes, and his focus really is, especially is SEL for adults.
Yes,
focus, which is super important, not as often recognized or practiced, I think, and that's why I think we love him, and he's so passionate about it. So
incredible.
All right, Mandy Freilich,
also part of our Speakers Network.
Yes,
she was one of the first members that we recruited for our Teach Better Speakers
She was
Network.
the first.
Yes, and she is continuously stepping up her game with so many books. She's such a well-known author in the education space, but really focused on what I love about Mandy is she makes a connection between SEL and tech. She's very knowledgeable about a variety of educational topics like technology, like social emotional learning, but her approach is always about supporting the whole teacher. And you need to have all these different puzzle pieces to really ensure that the teacher has the resources they need to be successful in every area of their life. Mandy does incredible work, and she's joined the Teach Better community in a number of different avenues before.
Yes, Mandy's one that I'm gonna say. This is probably, I don't know if this is gonna sound good the way I say it, but like Mandy's so much fun to like hang out with or have on live that you forget how freaking amazingly smart she is too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that sounds better. Like, she's like, you just get into like you're hanging out with a friend, and then she'll say some things. You're like, oh, I forgot you're brilliant. That's right.
Well, she's so witty that like you just want to grab a drink with her. Like, if you are looking for a friend at the networking event,
she's a good one. She's a good one. All right, Jed Derryberry.
Oh my gosh. I think Jed is somebody that just like oozes energy. So he's an early education educator that just transitioned to the university. Now he works with future educators, but he teaches his college students in the ways and the strategies that he taught his early education classes with young students. So he is the educator that everyone jokes about. For those of you who may have missed this Daily Drop-In, he was on Daily Drop-In one morning pulling books from the sky. Literally, he would go like this and pull up a resource, and then go like this and pull up a resource. He was unreal. He teaches so many incredible topics and so many things for our community, but one of which I love is that he uses children's books to really be an advocate for all students, and I am such an advocate for that.
Also an author, and oddly enough, a good friend of my older brother's.
Yes. Okay. And I will say that I went to our local Barnes & Noble here in my community, and both of Jed's books were there. And I took a photo being like, Jed, I found your books. Because, I mean, education books are hard to come by, but Jed's are so well known and celebrated that you can almost find him anywhere. He's a big author.
Tom Schimmer.
Oh, my God. If you want your mind blown, spinning, and completely change your mindset on education, you go hang out with Tom Schimmer.
That summed them up pretty good right there. Also
Seriously.
a podcaster
Dedicated to discussing some of the most challenging educational topics. For me, one of which that I love hearing him speak about is grading. He is a master.
Something about Tom is that when you talk to Tom, if you Zoom with him, he is never home. This guy is like literally always out speaking somewhere. The fact that he's able to come out to Ohio for a couple of days is mind blowing when you get to know him and how often he speaks. He is sought after everywhere. Very, very highly sought after. So awesome.
I think he's only coming because he wants to hang out with Joshua Stamper.
I know it. That's 100% why he's coming. And we'll take it. If we can use Joshua Stamper in that way, that's what we'll do.
Yep. Totally Tom Schimmer, by the way, if any of you are looking to either bring into your community, your school staff, or even just have discussion with your teammates, Tom Schimmer is an incredible resource to go to pull articles or texts or blogs to like foster discussion. He is really research-based and is really dedicated to organically growing that support in a building to bring in those best practices. So he's definitely somebody that I would always encourage you guys to go consume his content.
Dr. Neil Gupta.
Oh, I get to meet him finally in person. I've never met him. Oh my gosh. Can I say he's one of my bestest friends? I love Dr. Neil Gupta. He is, I don't think that I have ever met anyone like Neil. Talk about a middle school guy, but also somebody so incredibly dedicated at supporting and building up the skill set of others. Holy moly.
Yes. Longtime friend of the team too.
Also member of our speakers network again.
Yes. Genein Letford.
She blew me away when we met her. She was a random connection. I think we met her on social media. She came on to the Daily Drop-In.
I got to hang out with her on Daily Drop-In, didn't I? Or was it you?
I don't remember.
I got to go live with her once. I can't remember if it was that or if it was a different one. But
she's been in part of the team since 2021. I think we've engaged with her a few different times. But talk about a woman who is so stunning. Like she is so bright, and she has such an incredible way of speaking. I literally could listen to her all day long and still not get enough of her. She's unreal. And that's why she's our keynote. She is so incredibly dedicated to bettering the education field, and her study with brain science in the education field, I think is going to change our field for the better, truly.
Michael Jennings.
Oh, I love Michael Jennings. I used to teach with Michael Jennings.
I know.
Isn't that, crazy that we used to teach in the same building. He is the best, if not one of the best. I feel like that's terrible to say, but I think he's the best physical education teacher on the planet. I think the world of this man is so innovative. He's been awarded, over $60,000 in grants and support, and he is trying to change PE for the better. And I am so excited to bring his expertise back into our community. But he is one that actually joined Daily Drop-In when we initially launched it when COVID first hit the US. Yep. And he had one of the best morning episodes with our community because he was sharing such practical ways to get students up and moving. His mindset is that, physical education should exist in all classrooms at all grade levels. And he actually provides the strategies to make that happen.
Mickey Smith, we already talked about. We can talk about him for a minute again.
Love
we
Mickey.
like Mickey. We can just leave it at
Yes.
that. We like Mickey.
Grammy award-winning educator, somebody who has been interviewed on CBS Morning, The Today Show, and everything in between. You'll be getting a lot of his details in your inbox, but you can also learn all about Mickey either by visiting his website or heading to teachbetter.com/speakers network. He is somebody that we are constantly celebrating.
I don't know if he's going to in his keynote or not, but I really hope he shares his keep on going story. We'll just leave it at that. And finally, the Kevin J. Butler.
The Kevin J. Butler, an incredible educator that is full of energy. We saw him present at Teach Better 2019, standing on a desk, singing and doing incredible things as he, led that incredible crew. He was one of the most talked about sessions that we had in 2019, and we had to invite him back. But talk about one of the most kind gentlemen that loves being around good people. I just love his dedication to sharing energy. And actually he's somebody more than ever that is so dedicated to those actionable steps that we need to give to our educators, not just these like top level, let's change the world, but really big strategies. How do you do it? What's the action we can take? So great guy.
It's a good lineup, Ray.
It's a great lineup. Jeff, I'm so excited this lineup is official. And as a reminder for our Teach Better community here, head over to teachbetterconference.com. This is the last week to submit a proposal.
Yep.
So this is the time to join that incredible lineup so we can add your headshot right next to that incredible group. Jeff, before we end our show today, we do need to do a preview of the week because you and I are not a part of
a lot of stuff going on this week.
A lot going on. So let's do this really quick before we sign off. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. As we wrap up the Daily Drop-In, I want to give you a little preview of what is happening later this week because the Daily Drop-In show is being taken over by one of our favorite educators. And Jeff Gargas, Katie Miglin, and I are headed to go celebrate with the Bar Center Conference most of the week. So you'll have some new faces and some exciting guests this week on the Daily Drop-In. First and foremost, the theme this week is using the expertise of your school team. So we're excited to bring in some guests that are able to not only speak to the creativity that you can have utilizing the teachers already in your building, but also how you can use that to gain feedback to ensure that you're doing as much for your school community as humanly possible. So lots of good themes this week. Dr. Dave Schmittou has taken over the show. I love me some Dave Schmittou. He's phenomenal.
So tomorrow through Friday, Dave's on here. He's there.
Yeah, tomorrow Dave Schmittou is live with Eric Youngman, who is
that's going to be a good combo.
It's going to be a great combination of discussion. Dave obviously has an expertise in so many things, being in education and having so many different roles throughout his career. Eric Youngman is a district office leader in Illinois, somebody who's very active in our mastermind. So they're going to have some really great discussion. Yeah. We then have John joining us. John is an educator in Plano School District, and he actually uses the grid method. So Dave will be able to.
He and Dave have done work together in our work. So like that's going to be another great combo.
Another great combo. And then last but not least, if it could get better, not only is Dave live with Brad Hughes on Friday, but Dave is going to be live with Dawn Harris on Thursday.
They also have history and note.
Wow,
that's okay. So, all right, good lineup for Dave. Also, I want to note on Wednesday at 5 Eastern time for Brain Break, Dave and I are both gone.
I know.
So we've got a special guest Brain Break host too. So the amazing Brianne Fennell is going to take over Brain Break, like literally, like take over it, and she's going to be joined by our guest Mike Earnshaw. So, great combo there. Two authors there, two people who have just such cool outlooks on education, are going to have a good time playing games and having fun. So if you don't know, Bree's the one who sets up all of our games for Brain Breaks. So she's like the perfect person to jump in there. So that's super cool too.
Yeah, we're very excited to have all these features this week and to be able to highlight. I will be in the comments. I am so excited to consume all the fun interviews that will be happening and also see Bree play a game with Mike Earnshaw. I think she's going to win. I have some faith in her.
Most likely. She could rig it if she wants to. So
she could rig it. So,
it's going to be, we're going to see how dedicated we are to Daily Drop-In. Like we have West Coast friends who are here in the mornings, but will we get up on West Coast time to to watch Daily Drop-In.
I get up on Central Time Zone, so I feel like I'm closer than you.
You are closer, yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, I guess. Look for
Fingers
us in the
crossed.
comments.
If you need anything from us, our entire Teach Better community is always here for you as you guys head into a wonderful week. We are closing out April with lots of energy and good things happening. Please, please, please don't forget to submit your conference proposal. Those conference proposals have been open for 2 months and they are ending on Saturday.
Yes.
They will not reopen. They're headed to our committee and the next phase of selecting our lineup will be in place. So please make sure you share your voice in that incredible outlet. And while Jeff and I will be in Palm Springs supporting the Bar Center, we are really excited to be around if you need us. So lots of good things happening this week.
Good weeks. It's going to be fun.
Jeff, I think it's time for a second cup of coffee. But for everyone here, we hope you have an incredible Monday. It's April 25th. There are lots of things, lots of good things coming for this week. I just have a feeling. So we wish you all but a wonderful Monday. And of course, reach out if you need anything. Sound good?
Yep. We'll see you.
Bye.